Hi, this is Whitney with PolicyPak Software, and in the last video, we saw Jeremy create a collection in the Feature Manager for Windows component and turn on and off several features, both regular Windows features and the optional features. So inside of there we decided to install the .NET Framework 3.5 and its child processes. We installed the Telnet client. We also installed the graphics tools and the RSAT group policy management tools. And then we chose to uninstall a few things. We uninstalled the SMB1 protocol, we got rid of the XPS document writer, and we got rid of the XPS viewer. That's a lot of things. We'll go over that in a little bit. You don't have to keep them all in mind. But in the previous video, these policies were deployed using group policy. Well, what if you're using an MDM service? What if you're a big fan of AirWatch and are using that and want to deploy this through AirWatch and not through group policy? Well, that's what we are here for today. So what we're going to do is, in this collection right here, I'm going to click on it, and I can either right-click here or click over here on this menu just here, and I'm going to export this collection as XML. And what I want to do is I'm going to put it on my, I'll just throw it right on my desktop, and I'll just call it PolicyPak Feature Manager for Windows Settings. All right, and in just a minute, there we go. It's popped up right here, Feature Manager for Windows Settings. And we're done with this. We can close this out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with the PolicyPak Exporter tool, and that installs alongside the Admin Console MSI in the Design Studio. So when I go to my Start menu on my Management Station, I have this under Most Used PolicyPak Exporter tool. You almost certainly will not, so you can scroll down and find it in the PolicyPak folder here. And I'm going to use the Exporter tool, because what happens is this Exporter tool is going to wrap up that XML that contains all of those settings we just looked at, and it's going to turn it into an MSI, which you can then deploy using your MDM service. So in this particular case, we want to create a new MSI installer. And I'll choose Next. I'm going to add existing files, and I'll choose my Feature Manager for Windows Settings. And it's being installed for the computer. This is a computer side setting only. And I'll choose Next. I can give it a product name if I want to. I could give it something like Feature Manager for Windows Settings. Give it a manufacturer, say PolicyPak. We'll leave the product version in the comments as they are and choose Next. Now, you can click Next. We're going to save this on the desktop as well. Again, we can just call it PolicyPak Feature Manager for Windows Settings, although it'll be an MSI, not an XML. And there we go. We can finish right up. All right, great. Now we have this, and that we can then deploy it. Now, before we do that, I want to go over to my MDM machine, my endpoint here, and I want to point out a few things. So first of all, here I am MDM enrolled. I'm in AirWatch here. I also want to point out that I'm not domain joined. My work group is work group. And I have installed on this machine already. I have the client-side extension and I have the licenses. So those are the two things you're going to need to have in order to make your MSI function correctly. So for the sake of this video and the amount of time that we have, I'm not going to deploy it using AirWatch. I'm going to just do a little secret virtual machine trick and get it from there over to here. There we go. Did some magic there. And of course, normally you would deploy this using AirWatch or Intune or MobileIron, but we're cheating just a little bit for the sake of a video. Before we install this MSI, let's just take a second and go and look at the features that are currently on and off. So we'll have to enter in some credentials. All right, so this feature is off, but we're going to turn it on when we install the MSI. If we come down here, we have the XPS document writer is on, but we decided to turn it off. We have the SMB on, we're going to turn it off, but the Telnet client is off, but we're going to turn it on. So those are the things in the Windows features that are going to change for us. So let me go ahead and just close this out. And then let's go look at the Windows optional features here. All right, and the optional feature that we're going to turn off is, oh, it's actually not here, so we won't need to turn it off. But what we do want to turn on are the graphics tools and the RSAT group policy management tools. And you'll notice that, well, those are not here. So let's close this all out, and let's go ahead and install that MSI, which would, of course, normally silently happen in the background with your MDM service. All right. Now, we're going to have to restart before these features take effect. So I'm going to do that, pause the video, and then as soon as the machine was restarted, we'll come right back. Now notice as we're restarting, it is getting Windows ready as though it is updating. That is because it is getting those features ready. It's getting the new ones installed and the old ones uninstalled. All right, well, let's go ahead and get logged in here. Let's go check out some features, see what we've turned on and off here. So let's check these out. Probably give it some credentials. And the first thing we should see is that the .NET Framework 3.5, there we go, check mark, that's what we wanted to see. We are also going to see that the XPS writer has been removed, the Telnet client is there, and the SMB is not there anymore. So those were all of the features we were going to install and uninstall in the Windows features. Now let's go ahead and check out the optional features and see what's going on there. All right, there we go, graphics tools and RSAT group policy management tools, just like we had told it to. So that is how you'll go about exporting a collection, wrapping it up in an MSI, and then deploying it and seeing it work on your MDM enrolled machines. If that's interesting to you and you want to give PolicyPak a try, let us know. We will hand over the bits and get you rolling. Hope this helped you out. Thanks so much.